I have myself tried to build many a site on many a CMS that integrates point to point with a lot of different systems. And what I find, it feels a little bit like a band-aid solution to just kind of pull data in and out of the system, pull data in pretty much, and then try to figure out how we use it. And it can feel like exactly that, this thing that's stitched together, but the arms and the legs don't kind of work the way they're supposed to. Are we saying that the DXP will allow us to make it feel like it works the way it should, all as one, no matter what system you're using? How does that work if that is the case?
Yeah, there were two things there actually that you mentioned. So one of them is that, so as you building a website and needing to integrate with things, having to call upon a developer or someone else to come in and help you with that reduces your ability to actually get stuff done, right? So you've got a bottleneck here and you have to wait on it. So part of moving on from that sort of point-to-point integration, developer-led integration sort of stuff, and moving at least to iPaaS, right? And something like Connect that we have, allows you to sort of package up those integrations, abstract them a little bit away from the content authoring experience, so that when you go to build something, you've already got, like, you don't have the integration sitting there. You don't sort of say, I'm going to talk to that thing and process some raw data and all those things that, you know, they're not really particularly useful, but you've already got it like packaged up nicely. And the way that we do it in the DXP right now is the component service that we're launching. Obviously Connect is the iPaaS, and data store to have a data sort of sit there. And that allows us to package up something simple like, it's a calendar component, right? It's a social feed, it's a, you know, bookmarks component, something like that. And that allows an editor to come along and start composing the page more easily. It doesn't really matter where the data came from. It doesn't really matter how it got there. It doesn't even matter what system is behind it. It could be literally anything. But the important bit to the content editor is really the outcome, right? Sort of like, I need to show this to a user. I need to focus on things that are more important, like when to show it and how to personalize that experience rather than where the data is coming from. So that's probably the first thing, sort of like that bit of it. And how we do it, I mean, I mentioned a couple of those products and components, but there's an important bit there around ensuring that there's a level of abstraction between the thing that you're building, the digital solution you're building, and all of that tech that you've got sitting there behind it, all those third-party systems that are there. And so iPaaS is perfect for this, right? And data store is really good for this as well. So if we're thinking about use cases, an easy one is thinking about something like a learning management system. Maybe there's information there about course data for students to enroll in. There could also be enrollment data. It's another big one that we have. And their calendar, you know, for their course timetable or something like that. And if I have to build a solution and I need to like get that data from a third-party system, if my options are integration, then everywhere I start to put a piece of data, I start to do point-to-point integrations. So I end up with, you know, 4 different integrations talking to the same system, slightly different places I'm talking to the system in. I'm, you know, pulling out different data, I'm treating in different ways, but I've now got 4 things built, you know, four times effectively, and I've got to manage all of those things. And if everything changes in that back-end system, I've got to go and revisit each of those places that I was pulling the data in and potentially rebuild something there as well. So we're moving to iPaaS. It allows us to abstract that to a great extent. So I can sort of build that in there into the iPaaS, into Connect. And I can reuse those integrations, and I can centrally manage them, and I can manage things like credentials. I can put some level of governance and control over it. But if you then team that up with data store, then you can start to move data from outside the DXP inside. And for a developer building components, or even for a content editor sort of composing content together, having that data sitting there and being able to build upon it, not having to worry about where it came from, how it got there, how fresh it is, all that kind of stuff. Letting the iPaaS take care of all of that stuff for you, the movement of data, the reshaping of data, the loading it in, all that kind of stuff, allows you to work much more fast or much more quickly. And also allows you to reuse the stuff that you build